Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some really fascinating territory today. The incredible power of our own subconscious
It's
minds.
absolutely.
We're exploring The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, a book that's packed with, thought-provoking insights about, you know, why some people seem to just sail through life's challenges,
Mm-hmm.
while others, well, maybe not so much. And of course,
Right.
just a little reminder, while we're really excited to dig into these powerful concepts,
Yeah.
this deep dive, it isn't a substitute for, actual professional advice.
Of course. It's about tapping into what's already within you, not
Exactly.
replacing the guidance of experts when you need it.
Exactly. So with that said, let's jump right in. One of the first things that really struck me about Murphy's book is how he starts off with these really intriguing questions. He asks, why do some people thrive while others struggle? Why do good people sometimes experience hardship? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Murphy suggests that to understand these seeming contradictions,
Yeah.
we really need to look at the relationship between our conscious and subconscious minds. He explains that we have one mind, but it operates in these two distinct ways, the conscious and the subconscious.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And he uses this really great analogy of a ship to illustrate this idea.
Oh, I love a good analogy. Lay it on me.
So picture this. Your conscious mind, that's the captain of the ship, right?
Okay, the captain steering the ship.
Exactly. Making decisions, plotting the course. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is like the crew faithfully carrying out the captain's orders.
Interesting.
Without question.
So the captain says, full speed ahead to Success Island. The crew just jumps into action. No second guessing, no, are you sure about this, Captain?
Exactly. And that's what's so fascinating about the subconscious mind. It's reactive, not reflective. It accepts whatever the conscious mind believes as true, and then it gets to work making that a reality.
Wow, okay. So our thoughts, our beliefs, they actually have a real tangible impact on our experiences.
That's the heart of what Murphy's getting at.
Which reminds me of that story Murphy tells about the opera singer, Caruso. Right before he's about to go on stage, he's hit with this paralyzing stage fright. Like, his throat seizes up completely.
No,
And in a moment of, I guess, desperation, he starts yelling, get out, the big me is going to sing.
it's such a vivid anecdote, isn't it? And I think it illustrates this concept so brilliantly because in that moment of panic, Caruso instinctively tapped into the power of his subconscious mind. He didn't try to, reason with his fear. He commanded it, his big me, as he called it, to take over.
That's so interesting. But it does make you wonder, what exactly is this big me? Is that just, a theatrical flourish? Or is there something more to it?
I think it's a really clever, even if a bit amusing, way of personifying that inner power. We all have the power of our subconscious mind. And I think the takeaway for us is that we can, like Caruso, learn to direct our subconscious minds to overcome those limitations and achieve our goals.
That is incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
But hold on. If our subconscious mind just believes everything we tell it, doesn't that mean we have to be super careful about, our thoughts, especially those negative ones we all have sometimes?
Absolutely. And that's where the potential danger of negative self-talk comes into play. Because if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm a failure, or I'm not good enough, I can't do it, your subconscious mind takes those statements as commands,
Oh, wow.
as instructions, and it starts trying to prove you right.
Okay, so no more I can't
Allow.
allowed. Got it. So we've been exploring how our subconscious minds can shape our thoughts, our beliefs,
Right.
but Murphy doesn't stop there.
No, not at all.
He argues that this influence, it even extends to our physical well-being,
Absolutely.
which is honestly kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It really is.
One of the examples he gives that I found both fascinating and, I'll admit, a little creepy, is the story about the man who goes to see a crystal gazer, right?
Oh, yeah.
And this crystal gazer tells him, point blank, that he's going to die on the next new moon.
That's the one.
And wouldn't you know it, the man actually dies exactly when predicted. Gave me chills.
It's a haunting story, for sure.
Yeah.
But Murphy uses it to make a really important point. He says, it wasn't the crystal gazer's words themselves that had any real power, you see.
Right?
It was the man's absolute belief in those words. Like, he accepted that prediction as a foregone conclusion.
So he, willed himself to die just because he was so convinced it was going to happen.
In a way, yes. His fear, his complete acceptance, it became this powerful suggestion to his subconscious mind. And the subconscious, always the faithful servant, it set about making that happen, even if it meant manifesting something as, well, as final as death.
That's both terrifying and incredibly thought-provoking.
Right. But the thing is, this principle, it's not limited to this one, unsettling story. Murphy goes on to talk about all these cases of what seem like miraculous healings at like sacred shrines around the world.
He mentions lords, right? People from all different faiths claiming to have been cured of all sorts of ailments.
Exactly. And his explanation, no matter what the specific religion or the method involved, always comes back to this power of the subconscious mind.
Okay. Enough.
It's the individual's unwavering faith, their absolute belief in the healing power of that shrine that acts as this potent suggestion to their subconscious.
So it's not really about the place itself or even like the specific rituals or anything?
No.
It's about the power of belief.
Exactly. You know that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
I've heard that one.
Well, that's what we're talking about here. The subconscious mind, it doesn't distinguish between what we might call objectively real and what only exists in our imaginations.
Okay, that's kind of a big deal.
It is. If you truly believe something, if it's like deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind, will move mountains to make it your reality.
Wow. And this wasn't just like a theoretical concept for Murphy either.
No, not at all.
He actually shares this very personal story about how he used affirmations to help his own mother recover from a serious illness.
Yes. This story really brings it home, doesn't it?
It does. So remind me, what was it that she had again?
She had a coronary thrombosis, basically a very serious blood clot.
Oh, wow. That's serious.
Very serious. And Murphy, at the time, he was living far away from her.
Right.
But instead of feeling helpless, he decided to put his understanding of the subconscious mind to the test.
So what did he do?
He started using affirmations. He would repeat this phrase over and over again. The healing presence is right where my mother is. Just focusing all of his attention on this idea of her being completely healed.
And it worked.
It did. She made a full recovery, much to the astonishment of her doctors, I might add.
That's incredible. And what I find particularly interesting is that he wasn't even physically with her, right? Like he was far away. So does that even matter to the subconscious? Is it not bound by those limitations?
Yeah. That's a key insight right there. Distance, time, those are irrelevant to the subconscious mind. It operates outside of those constraints. What really matters is the clarity and intensity of the suggestion you're giving it.
So whether it's sending healing energy to a loved one across the globe or working on, our own personal growth, the key is learning to tap into that limitless potential.
Precisely.
Okay. So how do we do that? If we're listening to this and thinking, okay, I want in on this, I want to start applying these principles, where do we even begin?
Well, Murphy talks about several practical techniques we can all use. Visualization, for example, that's a powerful one.
Okay, so like picturing your desired outcome.
Exactly. And he also talks about affirmations, just like the one he used for his mother. And then there's the thank you technique, where you cultivate this feeling of gratitude as if what you desire has already manifested.
So it's about retraining our minds, shifting from a place of like lack or fear to one of confident expectation.
Exactly. These are tools we can use to reprogram our subconscious minds, you see, to align our inner captain, if you will.
I like that, the inner captain.
Right, to align our inner captain with the outcomes we desire, whether it's better health, a greater sense of peace, or even, as we'll dive into next, achieving greater wealth and success.
It's amazing how this idea of like the subconscious mind influencing our health, it can be applied to other areas of our lives too.
Absolutely.
Like when it comes to wealth and success, Murphy suggests that a lot of us, we might actually be sabotaging our own financial well-being without even realizing it.
It's so true.
Because of these deep-seated beliefs we have about money. It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It really is. And Murphy, he uses this great analogy to explain it. He compares the subconscious mind to a bank.
Okay, a bank. Like it.
So whatever you're depositing into this mental bank, right, whether it's thoughts of abundance or feelings of lack, that's what gets multiplied.
Interesting.
So if you're always focused on scarcity, always thinking about not having enough, you're essentially making deposits into what he calls poverty consciousness.
Poverty consciousness. That's powerful. It's not just about your current financial situation. It's like a deeper subconscious belief.
Exactly. And it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy because if you believe you'll never have enough, well, you're more likely to act in ways that just perpetuate that reality.
It's like those negative beliefs, they take root in your subconscious and then they start influencing your behavior, your decisions, and ultimately your reality.
Exactly. And that's why Murphy warns against what he calls signing blank checks.
Blank checks. What does that mean?
He's talking about all those negative statements we make without even thinking, Things like, I can't afford that, or money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've definitely heard those before.
We toss those phrases around so casually, but they can actually reinforce a poverty consciousness without us even realizing it.
Because our subconscious is taking those statements literally.
Precisely. So it's like you're handing your subconscious a blank check and saying, here, create more of this for me.
Wow. Okay, so that's kind of terrifying, but it also feels empowering in a way because it means we can change it, right? Like if we can shift those deep-seated beliefs, we can change our financial reality.
Exactly. And Murphy, he offers some really practical advice on how to do that.
Like what?
Well, he talks about the importance of becoming aware of those hidden fears and limiting beliefs that might be holding us back. He tells this really inspiring story about a young pharmacist who had this dream of owning his own pharmacy.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that one.
So this young man, he's stuck in this dead-end job that he hates, and he feels trapped. But instead of just resigning himself to a life of, mediocrity,
Right.
he decides to harness the power of his subconscious mind to create a different reality.
I love that.
And the way he does this is through visualization. He starts vividly imagining himself owning this thriving pharmacy. He pictures himself interacting with customers, experiencing the satisfaction of being his own boss.
And just by consistently visualizing this outcome, he was actually able to change his reality.
He did. He went from feeling stuck and unfulfilled to becoming a successful pharmacy owner.
That's amazing. It's a perfect example of how when we align our conscious and subconscious minds, we can literally create our desired outcomes.
Exactly. He didn't just wish for it. He imprinted that vision onto his subconscious mind, and then his actions followed.
That's a powerful reminder that we're not just passive bystanders in our own lives.
Absolutely not. We have the power to actively shape our realities, starting with our thoughts and our beliefs.
So just like we can reprogram our subconscious minds for healing, we can reprogram them for abundance as well.
Exactly. It's about shifting that internal dialogue from I can't afford it to how can I create this, from I lack to I'm open to receiving.
This deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind, it's been incredible. I mean, to think that we have this untapped potential within us, this power to shape our realities simply by directing our thoughts and beliefs, that's huge.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, if we can achieve all of this, if we can improve our health, attract wealth, achieve our wildest dreams, what else might be possible?
That's a question I think we could spend a lifetime exploring, and I hope our listeners will join us on that journey. And if you're as fascinated by these ideas as we are, I highly recommend diving into Joseph Murphy's book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's an incredible resource for anyone who's ready to tap into their full potential and become the conscious creators of their own lives.
Absolutely. It's a journey well worth taking.
It really is. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the power within you.